Now, if you're visiting Mallorca, then I really do recommend visiting some of the wonderful hilltop towns that we do have here on the island. And I'm here in Deya today. Now, if you are passing through Deya, then you may well have heard of Cala Deia, which is the beach here in Deya Village. But it's not actually in the village, it's actually a short walk away from the main village. And I'm going to show you just how to get there. Now, if you are hiring a car, there is a very, very windy road all the way down towards the Cala, towards the beach. But I don't recommend taking this in your hire car if you're visiting over the summer months, because we're expecting so many tourists to come here. What I do recommend, however, is the short 30-minute hike just down the path, which we're going to head down to now, and I'm going to show you what the walk is like, whether it's going to be accessible as well if you have accessibility issues, and also what great views we're going to get along the way. Now, I've just hiked up to the church here in the centre of Deya, and you can see where we're going in this video. We're heading down towards the Cala, which is just in this direction. But the views you get from up here at the church are just absolutely spectacular. And you can see that they look out right across Deya Village. So if you are visiting, then make sure you make this walk up towards the church. I have made a few videos about this, and I'll link to those at the end of this video and in the description text below. So we're just leaving the church here and the amazing views that we get here from up in Deya, and we're going to head back down the hill to the beginning of the route, which will lead down towards Cala Deia. Okay, so before we head on down towards Cala Deia, there's a water fountain here. Now, Deya is really famed for its amazing mountain water, so if you do have a refillable bottle, you can pick up some water here before we head on down to the hike. So I've just come down from the church. You can see we're in the village, but I'm going to take a left here, and we're going to start to join the walk, which will take us down towards the little Cala here in Deya. Now you can see where the walk starts, because the very famous Mallorquin street artist Joan Aguirre has actually been up to Deya recently, and as you can see here, he's painted this rather fabulous painting, and this marks the start of the walk down towards Cala Deia. So there's a wooden path that continues on through the village. To my right hand side here we have the Belmont Residencia Hotel. But we can see the first signpost here, which will take us down towards the beach. Now, my first thoughts here is that this is actually a very, very steep path. So if you do have accessibility issues, then I don't really recommend it. In fact, Deya probably isn't the most accessible village here in Mallorca to visit if you do have mobility issues. But if you're here for a hike, then obviously I really do recommend making this walk. So let's keep on heading down. Now, as we continue down past some very nice houses, we get to the start of the route, which will take us down towards Cala Deia. And you can see that this is part of the GR221 hike, which goes all the way across the Tramontana Mountains here in Mallorca. A lot of people come over to specifically do this walk. We're obviously not going to do that today. We're just going to go to the beach. So let's start heading down this path here. Now you can see from the hiking route here that it's very rough ground. If you are making this walk down towards Deya Beach, that you do wear trainers or hiking boots, you don't wear your flip-flops. It has to be one of the most unusual ways to get to a beach here in Mallorca, but we're going to keep walking down and we're going to check out the views. Now this walk is just lovely. You've got these old olive trees that are passing on the way. And as you can see as well, look, we're looking right up to the terraces that surround Deya Village, and we can see all the beautiful old stone properties here. Absolutely stunning. And if you are wondering if you're going in the right direction, well, then you do have these markers as well. So this is pointing right. We're going to keep on going. And there are some wonderful stop-off points too. You can see here's a great place for a picnic if you want to stop and have a break on the way down towards Cala Deia. So you can see now that the route here gets very, very rocky. This is actually called the Ruta de Pedra de Sec, so it's the dry stone route which runs all the way across the top of Mallorca. And it's a path that so many people follow here when they come over on hiking holidays, but this is just a very, very small section of it. And it's a great little walk to do as well if you just want to get out of the resorts, get into the hilltop towns and see a little bit more than the normal tourist sites. Now you can see here that we're coming to the end of the dry stone path, and we're going to get onto that little road that runs all the way down towards Cala Deia. We have two choices here. We can either continue down on the road, which I don't recommend because obviously there'll be a fair bit of traffic as we head on into the summer, but we can see here that the path continues just down here. So let's keep going this way. You can see there are lots of no parking signs running all the way down this road on the way down towards Deya. There is some limited parking that we'll see at the very bottom. This is why I do recommend parking up in the village or just getting off the bus in the village and walking down. And also by walking you get to enjoy these amazing views. Now just check out these caves up here. Check out the cliffs, it's absolutely spectacular. Now we're just coming into the parking down here in Deya. It's a very small parking area, so if you are driving down here then I really do recommend coming earlier on in the morning. So if you do decide to drive, well, let's check out the parking rates. Now I can see it costs €1.40 for 60 minutes stay, or you can park here for €5 for 240 minutes. You can pay by coins or you can pay by card too. But you can see as we come down, it's lunchtime here. It's the middle of April. You can see how busy the car park is. If you can't find space and you can't park on the sides of the roads on the way up, you're going to have to go right the way back up to the top of the village. Now, if you do want to continue exploring the area as well, there are lots of other hiking routes that you can take from down here in Cala Deia. You can see the routes here, but we're going to keep on heading down towards the beach. Now this is great to see, just excusing the graffiti here, but if you do have a wheelchair, then there is an area for you to park in and you do not have to park in the main car parking area. So we're just coming up to the disabled parking area. There are only 2 spaces. I mean, it's not great, but there are 2 spaces. Now we've got a little bit of a hippie vibe going on here, sort of market stall right at the entrance of Cala Deia. If you want to pick up any souvenirs, if it's particularly sunny, you probably want to get a hat as well, bring a hat down. Got some sarongs as well, €12, actually pretty good value, considering that we're literally in the middle of nowhere. So it is very busy down here in Cala Deia today. It's a little bit cloudy as well. We haven't got the normal sunshine you expect in Mallorca, and it often does get very cloudy up in Deya actually. The weather can be rather hit and miss up here. But this is what we're coming down to, and we're coming down to Cala Deia Beach. Now Cala Deia is a beautiful beach. It's a rocky cove, so if you are hoping to swim here, and I do recommend swimming in the warmer months, bring some rock shoes. You can pick them up in any Chinese shop or in any sports shop for around €10 to €15. So there are 2 restaurants down here in Cala Deia. The first one in front of me here, we have a Canyuk, and looking over to my left here, I've got the more expensive Cas Patro March. Now the average price for dishes over at Cas Patro March, it's around €25 for a starter and €40 onwards for a main. You do really need to book in advance. It does get very, very busy over the summer. Both of these restaurants do feature in my website article, Restaurants with a View. Go and check that out. I'll pin that in the description text below this video. Let's go and check out Canyuk. Canyuk is the cheaper option. You can get a main course here for around €20 to €25, and That consists of a fish dish. I have eaten here before, it was very, very nice. Now, of course, you don't have to book either. You can just bring your own picnic and come down and sit on the rocks. We have a bit of a cloudy day down here in Cala Deia, so I'm just going to wait for the sun to come out again to get the best views of the water. And here it comes. So I've had lots of questions on the Facebook group actually and on my YouTube channel asking whether it's warm enough to swim in April. Well, I can see a swimmer out in front of me. For her, definitely, I think it is warm enough to swim. Now, if you are coming down by bike, and I can see a lot of cyclists have actually parked their bikes right by the boats here, down by Cala March. I'm not quite sure how happy the boat owners would be. If you do come down here, please leave your bikes respectfully. So if you're staying up in Deya, whether you're staying in one of the really amazing hotels up there or you're just passing through for the day, then I really do recommend making the walk down here towards Cala Deia. It just is the best way of coming down to this little beach. It's much less stressful than trying to drive down and park. Unless, of course, you do have access to a super yacht, in which case there is a mooring just over by Cala March. We can bring a tender in from your super yacht and moor up for lunch too. Okay everyone, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget you can find out more information all about Mallorca on my website on mallorcaunderthesun.com. You can also find me in the Facebook group and on my Instagram, also called Mallorca Under the Sun. Please consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see what that drive looks like coming down to Deya, then check out the video that's appearing on YouTube just here.